And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, to game four between Vengeful Reapers and 7 men here. We have yet another caster change. I'm Random Minion Caster, back to continue the cast here in game four. And alongside me for said game four is Adorit Luna. And Luna, what a series we've had here. No changes to the rosters, and now we've got Vengeful Reapers on the blue side, 7 men on the red side. What are we expecting from this game four here?
Man, I don't even know, right? Like, so far, each game is, well, I wouldn't say last game was a complete stomp like game one and game two. It was a lot more bloody, a lot less clean, a lot more back and forth, right? So I'm curious to see how this game is going to pan out and if 7 minutes going to be able to force a game five.
For sure, and I mean that's kind of what we did expect from this series, for there to be lots of action. I'm so happy that it's not disappointed thus far, and despite the roster changes on the side of Vengeful Reapers, Game 3 still had as much action as expected, but a couple of things like you mentioned, we did see finally the Hecarim pick actually fail here for the side of 7 men, so do you think it's still going to be that high priority pick that it has been so far, since we did see it lose here in Game 3?
Um, I think it still could potentially be, depending on who's on what side. It does look like VGR is blue side this time, and we have seen like in game two, Noise he did really well in the Hecarim as well. So if Hecarim's not banned, we're probably going to see another first pick Hecarim.
For sure, and we did see Noise counter that with the Echo. I don't know if Teeman plays Echo or has some sort of answer to giving up that Hecarim. If they don't, they might have to ban it themselves, because just leaving it up is a risk when Noise can counterpick it with that Echo once again here. And the return of Microthorn into that top lane, that first pick, Darius doing work that game.
Yeah, it really did. And but again, I feel like a lot of it came down to just a slight bit of miscommunication from that early gank from Teeman and top lane sucks because Noxus he was just barely low on mana to be able to get either a Wither or another Q stack down, and Microthorn just barely got out with his life. But because of that, he was able to kite them into Noise and really get Noise ahead really early.
Yeah, and that made all the differences. We did see Noise active all over the map, snowballing his lead into all the lanes there. Now, we have the picks and bans started up here. Vengeful Reapers, once again, on the blue side. They're going to ban first, and they ban out the Vi once again against Teeman. 7 men replying with the Ornn ban here, which we still haven't really seen, but now it's Microthorn in that top lane, so perhaps just making sure he can't get his hands on it, or maybe JD on the support Ornn. We have seen that before. Now the Kale ban as well coming out for Vengeful Reapers.
Yep, it's interesting that we keep seeing this kill ban over something like a Hecarim ban. But then again, I mean, Vigil Reapers they might just take away the Hecarim again, so it does make sense. But I mean, like the kill from game one, like it was good, but at the same time, it didn't really do too much. I would say, and it was more because of the Hecarim. Now I like the swap to taking out the Yorick option because Yorick was an interesting pick earlier in game two that did end up being pretty annoying for VGR.
For sure, and that was against Shapiro, though. Microthorn not having to run into the Yorick just yet. And 7 men also banning out the Ari and Echo. The Echo against Noise is solid, but then again, the Ari once again, that was true hero playing the Ari, not Heal Slowat. Heal Slowat does play a bit of Ari as well, quite a bit of Ari, I should say. So perhaps it's still targeted at Heal Slowat there, but I don't know if that was the issue when she did play Lux in game 3 here. And now we do see the first pick once again for Microthorn. They're going to pick the Darius, and that means Hecarim is still available once again.
Now that does lead to a lot of implications because I mean, like we saw last game, the Hecarim it was good, but if you failed that first initial gank, I mean, that could just snowball. Interesting that Alpals is taking the Lux, unless that's for the Ascendant.
That could very well be for the Ascendant. I believe Ascendant does actually play the Lux support here. I'm just trying to check to see if that was one of the champions I hadn't noticed. I do believe he's done it before, but I can't. It's not showing on the op.gg. And instead, they're going to pick themselves Aatrox and Lux here. So denying that from Heal Silhouette, perhaps pinching the mid champion pool a little bit here. But and the Aatrox is a safe pick into the Darius. Oh, and it's not Lux. Sorry, there we go. There was a mistake. That is supposed to be a Maokai? So it's Maokai Aatrox for 7 men, interestingly enough. So I guess it's a potentially a mid lane Aatrox or maybe a jungle Maokai. That's interesting pick. But we do see the Hecarim coming across for Vengeful Reapers, though. They want to make sure they're the ones to get that. And I'm surprised that it actually got through this many picks here. And now that can't be right. And a Mumu? No, that's a Nico, not an Amumu. So Darius, Hecarim, Nico. A lot of errors on both sides of the pro draft so far.
Okay, so my thought is because of what we've seen the Ascendant play so far, we've seen him play the Thresh. We've seen him play Pike. That could be a Maokai support, just because that fits in his wheelhouse. Maokai goes in, he has a lot of CC options, and he's definitely a better option to all in with than say a Pike, just because of how tanky a Maokai can be.
And now I don't even know what's going on anymore. 7 men drafting the Cassiopeia here for themselves. So yeah, that lends credence to your thought that maybe it's a Maokai support, Aatrox top, and Cassiopeia mid, perhaps. And we do see for 7 men, they somehow blanked the ban. It's an Alistair ban, actually, for the side of 7 men. And then we do see the Zillion ban coming out from Vengeful Reapers here. So to make sure the Ascendant doesn't get that one. Thresh ban coming out from 7 men. So it looks like both sides pinching the support pool.
Which is interesting. Uh, but then again, VGR, they don't know where that Maokai could be going. So I can understand the respect bans on the support options, taking away the Swain and the Zillion. Um, and I definitely like the Alistair ban just because 7 men could not deal with it. Like Alistair would just go in front of him, and he's like, "I'm here. You're not getting past me. You have to hit me," and that's all that they would do. So now in this case, you don't have to worry about what's not even there.
We're seeing now the picks coming across. It's going to be Kane for 7 men. So probably the Kane jungle once again for T-Min. He has seemed to default to that champion a little bit when Hecarim and Vi are unavailable. Surprisingly, we're not seeing the Lee Sin at all coming out from T-Min, even when he's being pushed down to the wire right now. And then we do see the Nautilus and potentially Lucian coming out for the side of Vengeful Reapers. Drizzle getting his hands on that Lucian once again after having a standout performance in Game 3. 7 men going to finish off their composition here with the Ashe here.
Yeah, it's both teams are pretty scary. Um, I like the comp from 7 men because you have the lockdown from, and yeah, that is going to be a Maokai support, just because it's going to be cast mid, Kane jungle, Aatrox top. So you have a lot of chain CC from Maokai and Ashe. That could set up for a petrifying gaze from Cass. With water as well, VGR. I don't remember who the Mumu was.
Nico.
Nico. Okay. The misdirect from Nico with her being able to toss out clones. If 7 men's not careful, they might accidentally hit the wrong target. Or Nico could send out a fake clone that looks like either Hecarim or Nautilus or something while 7 men doesn't have vision of those particular champions. So it could be like a fake Hecarim tries to go in, Ash accidentally ults it, thinking it's the real one, and all of a sudden you find out it's a clone, and it's like, well, there goes my ult for 90 seconds. Which, I mean, late game, that might not be an issue, but the question is, will they make it to the late game?
For sure, and given the way the games have been going thus far, it's highly unlikely they make it to the late game without the game already being heavily in one side's favor here. And I am just a little concerned. I do like the composition, like you said, from 7 men. They have quite a bit of tankiness as well, but the question is just whether or not they can sort of get past the initial laning phase, because so far the fulcrum of the game has been the junglers, Noise and Teeman, who can get ahead. And the last time we saw Teeman on this Kane, he struggled to really find any traction in the game at all, whereas Noise on the Hecarim has been shown to be an absolute menace across the map here. And with a Darius, with that Nautilus Lucian bot lane, you've got two lanes which are really, really strong early. And the Nico into Cassiopeia matchup, I believe actually favors the Nico early. So that's just a lot of burst, and he can just gank any of the lanes, get them snowballing, and that's how we've seen this series play out thus far.
Right, because the Cass, she has to have time to scale up a little bit at least. Now, Cassiopeia's W will help negate Nico's ult, just because you're grounded in Cassiopeia's pool, so you can't jump as Nico with her ult. That also stops Nautilus from being able to hook away. I don't think Darius can ult, but I'm not sure on that one. And I'm not sure if Lucian or Hecarim can dash away while in the pool as well. So it'll be interesting to see those interactions.
Yeah, it'll also be interesting to see Alpals on the Cassiopeia. We're used to seeing him on things such as the Echo, the Talia, things with more assassination potential, pardon me, rather than Cassiopeia. We've seen a lot of Cassiopeia in the league. It's just the question now is, can Alpals execute it properly here?
Right. And I think in the case of VGR, I feel like their team comp is going to have the edge just because it's an easier comp to pull off. Just because you have the point-click initiation from Nautilus, right? All he has to do is be like, hey, look, there's Ash. I hit R. All right, go in, folks. Do your thing. And that could just be it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely ease of execution, a bit of a bonus here for them. And yeah, so I guess the question is just whether or not 7 men can scale up, get their champions rolling, and then get those initiates they need to find. And with that, we've basically got ourselves a very exciting game 4, because 7men's backs are to the wall, and they are not a team that likes to go down easy. And so far, Vengeful Reaper's struggling to close out the game a little bit. So definitely should be an exciting game 4 to watch here. We are going to hit into intermission here while we wait out the spectate. So stick around. We'll see you guys in about 2 minutes. Here we go, ladies and gents. We're on to the Summoner's Rift with Vengeful Reapers on the blue side. Up in this best of 5, 2-1 right now. 7 men on the red side here, fighting to keep their playoff hopes and dreams alive here. And it should be an exciting one. Both these teams, they've just been clashing over and over again. Lots of fights, lots of kills. And I don't see why Game 4 should be any different here.
Right, and again, we're just seeing just the standard 5-man, except Aatrox is a little late coming out of base. Wonder if he might have had a little bit of connection issue or something there.
Thankfully for him, Vengeful Reapers did not invade, so they will be just fine. Again, both teams just going with that defensive start right now. And the Nico dancing a little bit. And we actually do see a disconnect here. Unfortunately, it is going to be Noise disconnecting the jungler, the linchpin here of Vengeful Reapers' early games thus far. And once again, on this Hecarim, he is going to take the Ignite Smite versus Teeman's Flash Smite Hecarim.
Yeah, that's it's a very interesting. I wonder why that's been so popular on Hecarim lately. I mean, like, I know Hecarim has a lot of just a bonus movement speed in his kit in general, but I would think that because of his passive, you would much more value going Ghost with Tintuate Predator, because I also think, if I'm not mistaken, I can just double check here real quick, that Predator got buffed this patch. Yes, it did. Just scroll down here. See, Predator, the damage growth is, it used to be 30 to 90 from levels 1 to 18, and now it's 40 to 120, and it's also on a lower cooldown. It's a 10-second lower cooldown than what it used to be. So, I don't know, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if teams do adapt to that. After all, that patch did just come in earlier this week here, so perhaps teams not quite yet used to it. And we do see Microthorn and Slowat dancing off with their little pets here, knowing that they're safe from any invades. They will, however, get back to their lanes, and that means both, or not both junglers, pardon me. Noise going to start bot side, while it looks like Teeman going to start top side. And we do see Microthorn dropping a really, really aggressive deep ward here. We'll spot out exactly where Teeman's starting.
Well, is it Microthorn or quote-unquote Microthorn? Because that was actually Nico.
Right, of course. That was Slowat, pardon me. Keep forgetting spectate mode actually changes their names when they shapeshift there, and that's probably going to confuse me in these fights, so apologies in advance when I mess up who's getting what kills or what's happening in these fights.
Yeah, that's very cheeky by Riot. I wonder if that was an intentional thing, or if that's just an oversight.
I mean, who really knows with Riot? Half the time it's spaghetti code, the other half the time nobody really knows what they're doing anyhow. So we do see Teeman running straight to his blue buff after clearing the Raptors there. So interesting pathing, and that's going to put him near the bot side. He could potentially look for an early gank here down this bot side with the Maokai. He's got a lot of CC in his lane here, so could potentially be what he's looking for.
Right, and with their setup, I actually really like this pathing to try to go for that early game, especially with 7 men having that level advantage.
Yeah, and that helps to shut Drizzle down a little bit as well, because we did see Drizzle just absolutely pop off last game on this Lucian, and you don't want to have that happen, because right now a lot of this game, a lot of the series has revolved around the first 10-15 minutes of the game here. We do see an attempted gank from Teeman into the mid lane, unfortunately not able to find anything. So what? Playing it safe will be perfectly fine, and Noise just farming up this scuttle for now. Where's he going to go after? Because I want to see where he gets his first gank off to.
It's an interesting thought, because right now both his top and mid are pushed up, so I mean, he doesn't really have a good in be able to get in for a gank.
And he doesn't really have anything much. His Raptors just spawning here might be able to go for that. Instead, he's going to go for the scuttle on the bot side. There is a ward down here in the bush, though. We'll be up for the next about 10 seconds, so it will spot Noise. Or maybe not, actually. I think he just barely skirted around the edge of the vision, so they will not see Noise there. And that ward will probably expire before Noise starts looking for a gank.
Yeah, I'm really curious to, well.
And here we go. Flash coming out of JD in that bot lane, looking for the initiate. Unfortunately, don't get it, and that's not going to happen. Instead, it's going to be top lane Teeman finding the first blood onto Microthorn there, and that's one of the two biggest threats in the early game. Stopped dead in its track as Microthorn, unfortunately, not surviving that one. Microthorn did not take the Ghost or the Ignite once again. We see him with the teleport here, so we'll be able to get back to lane if he wants to. Instead, it looks like he's just going to walk that one in.
Alright, so we got a game then. I'm really looking forward to see if 7 men are going to be able to get their heads on, and we'll see if we go to game 5. Because this is, at the moment, it's the start of looking that way, potentially.
For sure, and to be fair, it is really, really early in the game with that first blood. There's only about a 200-300 gold difference here in favor of 7 men, so it's literally just the kill gold here. No CS advantage gain or experience advantage, and we did see Drizzle able to take a plate on that bot side turret as well. So despite not getting any ganks, or despite the failed gank attempt into that bot lane there, Drizzle and JD still looking very, very threatening in the early game.
Right, and interesting option from Alpals. Not only do they already have an early tier of the goddess, but it looks like they also sold a Doran's ring for that amp tone.
Interesting. So he's going to have less health here, less mana regeneration in lane, a little bit more AP damage. So potentially looking for a bit of kill pressure. He is 6 now, does have the Petrifying Gaze available. And that combined with a Kayn can pump out a lot of burst damage here. Nico not the tankiest of mid laners, so could potentially just be looking to burst her down for now. And Noise too, on that Hecarim, also not tanky either, so could potentially be a target. And we do see Teeman looking to revisit that top lane. It's going to walk past the ward, but can Microthorn get away? He gets pulled back in here, and now the 2v1's happening. He does not have flash available, and looks like he might go down, but has managed to heal up off the Q. And will he get taken out? Yes, he will. Top lane sucks magic to get that last skill there onto Microthorn, and that's going to see Microthorn dead yet once again here. Not the best start that Microthorn could have hoped for.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be hard enough for Microthorn as it is, since, to my knowledge at least, Aatrox is usually a pretty decent counter into the Darius. And, I mean, with Darius just keep pushing up like that, and then Teeman just being there to respond and give aid to top lane sucks, I mean, you gotta be a little bit more respectful of the jungle.
For sure, and we have seen both of these top laners carry before, and
Here we go
Teeman just setting up a tent in this top lane. He's back here once again, and that's going to be Microthorn taking a lot of damage. He's 6, does have the guillotine, but he doesn't have enough damage to get any dunks off, and that's going to be his 3rd straight death of the game right here.
And again, it's just like, you know, sometimes you have to respect the option that, you know, the jungler, they might not be gone. Like, they might come in for that repeat gank immediately if you show up too soon.
And this, I think, is the best start Teeman has had since game 1 here. And like we said, a lot of the game pivots around these junglers here between Noise and Teeman. So the fact that Noise has not been able to find himself a gank yet, but Teeman has found himself a kill and 2 assists is huge. That being said, Noise not wasting time either. He manages to pick up the first Drake for his team, and it's going to be a Cloud Drake here for themselves. Top lane sucks, gets stuck under the turret. He's going to take a lot of damage. Microthorn going in for the execute. The pullback drags him back, but the bleed is going to be enough. He gets the shutdown, turns that back right around. He's going to be able to find himself a solo kill in that top lane.
Yeah, and that solo kill is going to be huge because he does get more experience since he was only level 6.
Yeah, and that's good for Vengeful Reapers because they're able to fire back. They are still down 800 gold though, so it's definitely still an issue. And we do see top lane Sucks teleporting right back into lane, so will not miss really any CS at all after that. He does come back with the Corpus Warhammer and Kindle Gem, so he's up items as well now. Microthorn and top lane Sucks trading in there, but Microthorn, no Noxian Guillotine this time, is gonna go down in that 1v1, pardon me. Did overstay, I think, his welcome a little bit too long there. Unfortunately for him, that just looks like a simple flash of brilliance, which is fading all so quickly.
Right, and it's just like, you have to really appreciate that because it's like, yeah, he immediately teleports back in, but you have to think, not only is he coming back with damage and health, but he just got 20% TDR. So he's going to be able to pop off his abilities a lot more often, and that makes Aatrox very mobile.
For sure, now we do see Noise finally going up to that top lane, but he has to be careful. He is a level down right now. And we do see Teemin looking for the dive as well. Can they get him? The Onslaught of Shadows buys him a bit of time, but it's used to disengage. He has no flash. He's only got the Ignite, and he will go down the Teemin. Teemin now 2-0-2. The top side of the map just popping off for 7 men here.
And right now it's looking like we're seeing, again, it's kind of like a repeat of from Game 1, Game 2. You see one team do well with something, then you see another team do well, and now it's the exact opposite. We saw the Hecarim kind of fall off in Game 3, and now we're seeing it again with the Kayn counterpick in Game 4.
It's kind of weird because the first time we saw this matchup, Kayn just didn't seem to be able to do anything at all, whereas now it's the opposite where Hecarim's the one who can't really seem to find anything. And in this bot lane as well, somehow Muxtar, we saw in the beginning, it looked like Drizzle and JD were bullying out Muxtar and Ascendant a little bit, but now it's the other way around. And we do see Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming across onto Drizzle. The flash comes out, but the Twisted Advance keeps on going. The exhaust now onto Drizzle. And it's ADC versus support on both sides, but it's going to be Ascendant turning back first. JD having to flash back out. Nature's Grasp coming out will not really find much here. They do get the double root, but they're both safe under the turret. And nothing going to come of all that action in that bot lane here.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really like about the Maokai pick here is, like, you know, whenever Nautilus hits that hook and he gets that stun off, then Maokai can just respond with that twist and advance and just stop the enemy ADC in his tracks.
And now we do see Alpels walking into this. The Petrifying Gaze lands, but that's not going to stop the ultimate from the Nico. Instead, it's going to be Teemin coming in, stealing the herald that Noise was focused on. Noise took so much damage. A simple Poison Fang or two sees him dead and back in the Death Chamber. Now Microthorn running, trying to stay alive for now. Top lane Sucks and Teemin just collapsing onto him. They have more than enough damage. We've seen this song and dance before, and that's going to be another Microthorn death here. And it's everything's just coming up 7 men right now.
Yeah, this is just crazy. It's really hilarious actually when you think about it, because Game 1 to Game 2, great use of Shelly there, just getting that early turret, sub 12 minutes. But Game 1, Game 2, it was blue side wins, and now it's looking like Game 3 and 4 is red side wins.
Yeah,
so
the Hecarim too, it was the key champion in Games 1 and Game 2, but here in Game 3 and Game 4, the Hecarim not looking good at all. Onslaught of Shadows once again. He gets knocked up by Teemin though, and that's going to be another kill. Teemin now on a rampage. He's 4-0-3, and they're looking like they'll be able to get 2 turrets on this Shelly push.
So that's 2 turrets, maybe another kill here.
Microthorn not respecting the fact that he can't seem to win these 2v1s. We do see Alpals waiting in the wings as well. Heals the what coming in. Can they get the kill? No, they get at least Microthorn did, but it is Heals the what answering back, picking up a double kill, a shutdown as well onto Teemin. So that's a healthy infusion of gold into the mid lane here of Vengeful Reapers. But at what cost when they've already lost an inner turret on that top side?
Yeah, that was inner turret on top. Sub 13 minutes. That was a huge play by 7 men. This is definitely looking like we're, at least at the moment, it very well could be a Game 5 situation coming up soon.
For sure, and that's already a 5,000 gold advantage at 13 minutes. That's an absolutely massive gold lead. And a lot of that sitting in the top lane, more than half of it, 2.7k gold lead for top lane Sucks. That's effectively almost a completed item ahead of Microthorn there, and the rest of it sitting a lot in that jungle as well. 2,500 gold in advance for Teemin, and just that advantage to the top side means that there's no fights that should be lost on that top side of the map. They could always lane swap and rotate to the bot lane, as we do see JD getting caught out here by that Sid duo of top lane Sucks and Teemin, and top lane just going in aggressively. Can they find him? Yes, they can. Noise going in as well, and he's going to die, paid for the sins of his support there. Now Drizzle may be getting caught out. No, Nature's Grasp too slow. They can't find him, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow can. That's a triple kill now for top lane Sucks. They're going now on to Microthorn. Microthorn going to go down. It's going to be Alpels picking this one up. It's a 4-0 here in favor of 7 men. And now here's what the last person standing going for top lane Sucks here, but will have to back out. It looks like she can't win this trade here.
Yeah,
that's a clean ace here for the side of 7 men. They picked the Herald up on the back end of that. Did I say a 5k gold lead? Because it's now a 7,000 gold lead here. Pre-15 minutes, and JD might make it worse. He's gone in. The Ignite's now on to top lane Sucks, but the Ignite's not enough to kill him, and they get out scot-free after an ace and a Drake.
Yeah, this game is disgusting right now. The amount of synergy between top lane Sucks and Teemin on Aatrox and Kayn is undeniable. I mean, they have so much chain knockups, and their rotations were beautiful. Like, I'm at a loss of words. That was just glorious.
And the question is, where has this Teemin and top lane Sucks been for the last 2 games here? I mean, really, the Darius top and the Hecarim jungle are things we've seen out of the side of Vengeful Reapers already. So it just come down to, it looks like mostly execution more than champion picks or counters here.
Right.
And it really doesn't feel like it's a sub 20-minute game at this point, but it really has been. We did see the Drake, the Infernal Drake, going the way of 7 men here, and it is going to be a Mountain Soul map, so all the Drakes here are going to be Mountains. Noise having to use the Onslaught of Shadows to run away from top lane Sucks, or he might have gone down there. And so the only hope is for the bot lane of Vengeful Reapers in the short term here, but they've just lost the outer turret in that bot side as well. And Muxtar starting to look like he's coming online, has the Blade of the Rune King and the Zerker's Greaves already, so it looks like he can trade against Drizzle quite safely here. Just has the Essence Reaver.
Right. I mean, Drizzle, he doesn't even have his tier 2 boots. So, I mean, while he does have his Relentless Pursuit to either get in or get out, that might not be enough just because of the permaslows from Ashe.
For sure. Now we do see in the jungle support combat here, but the Ascendant is so far ahead. Already has the Righteous Glory completed. No boots, but that will still give him more than enough to engage. And the last outer turret going down for Vengeful Reapers. So 7 men right now have free run of the map. The river is in their control. And we take a quick look at the vision here. You can see Vengeful Reapers have basically no vision past the river at all besides the one in the Herald Pit for now. Whereas when you look at 7 men, they've got nothing behind the river. They are aggressively positioned. And now Microthorn potentially getting caught out by top lane Sucks here. It's the 1v1 once again. Microthorn looking to run away, but he doesn't have enough mobility, it looks like here. And we do see top lane Sucks punishing, missing a lot of his skills though, and Microthorn continuing the bleed damage for now, but it's not going to be enough. JD now showing up. The depth charge comes up to buy time, but that now leaves JD at the tender mercies of Alpels, and he's going to have to trade his life, flashing away, taking the blast cone. But will that be enough? Yes, it will. It gets him out, but now he's deep inside enemy territory. They're going to go on a chase to find this Nautilus, and they do mention that the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. That's a very, very dead diver there. Alpel's the one to pick that up. He's now 3-0.
Yeah, very clutch by Mookstar. Very good Crystal Arrow, because they didn't even have any vision there, so there is a chance that he could have whipped it if JD did sidestep just at the right time.
For sure, and JD also doing a good job just buying time for his team here. The Herald is going to go over the way of 7 men. The last time they used it, they managed to get 2 turrets. We'll have to see where they opt to send this one now. They do give it to top lane Sucks here, so I'm not expecting to see it drop right away because it's a bit too early to take an inhibitor, I think, at this point.
Well, that is debatable almost because I'm not sure if Microthorn would have the damage to be able to fend off supers on his own. So that would split up the forces of VGR
And
pretty
that's going to
handily.
be on hold for now because Teeman finding Drizzle in the jungle. Flash is coming out from both. Drizzle almost guaranteed to die here, but a beautiful flash to buy time. The knockback as well from Noise makes this a 1-for-1 trade at least for now. So not a complete waste of Drizzle's life.
Yeah, not a waste of Drizzle's life, but Teeman giving off a nice bit of shutdown bolt there. So you gotta wonder if that kill was if that dive was even worth it or not.
Actually, I don't think Teeman had the shutdown goal there because he just died not too long ago. So
Oh, well then my mistakes.
yeah, so I mean, still a bit of a bad giveaway there. When you're the team in the lead, you don't want to be giving free kills over, but I guess it doesn't matter if you can continue finding picks like that as we see JD getting melted once again here. He's 0-3-0 and he's been struggling right now outside of laning phase. Nowhere in the jungle is safe. And we do see once again Vision being cleared out by the side of 7 men, and that's going to turn out the lights near the Drake here. And that should be another free Drake here for Vengeful Reapers if they opt for it. Instead, they're going to drop Shelly into the mid lane and look for a push there.
I really like this play because now it's like, you know, I mean, Teeman, he's got the damage to take on Dragon solo, so you don't have to worry about that. And this just immediately forces Vengeful Reapers to have to try to hold mid.
The operative word there is try, as their turret's already down. A beautiful petrifying gaze catches 3. And right now they don't have everybody with them, so they're trying to output damage. This is a 5v4, and it is going to be the Ascendant going down first, followed by Alpals here. JD dropping dead, but that's only a support dead. Mooks are trying to pump out the damage, but will go down to Microthorn, who picks up a triple kill. Only Teeman left alive, but it is a 1v1 now. He'll slow what versus Teeman, and it's going to be Teeman winning that one. He was just so fed, and despite the 10k gold lead 7 men have, they barely win this one. They will get the inhibitor turrets. They will get the inhibitor in the mid lane, at least for now.
Yeah, very good on Teeman to come in with that cleanup. And now you have to wonder, pardon me, you have to wonder if Vengeful Reapers are going to have damage to hold off these supers, just because they were struggling quite a bit there just to try to hold off that push.
I mean, they probably will be able to hold off the supers, but they'll lose all map control for it. And right now, we do see Baron is available right now. Teeman just going to walk past a control ward there, not clearing that one out. There is enough vision that Vengeful should be able to see this Baron if they do attempt to go for it. And just as I say that, it does get cleared out. So now they're blind all across the map. You can see an intense lack of vision here. There is the blue trinket for Drizzle though, so they will be able to scout it once in the Pyramid Pit. And for the side of 7 men, they're just setting up vision right now, getting deep into the enemy side. They found Noise though, but Noise probably going to be able to turn away as long as he doesn't turn back around. And Microthorn pushing that bot side, does have teleport available, can rejoin his team.
Right, and I like this play from VGR just because this is at least some kind of an influx of gold that they can put in their pocket. Again, Microthorn, he has teleport, so he can safely do this. But right now, they're not even going to be able to contest this Baron. That's just free.
Yeah, and Vengeful Reapers did catch all of 7 men rotating in. Their new Baron was being done, but they just don't want to contest that. They know they can't win on open ground here, and you saw how quickly Baron went down with that bit of the Rune King and Runan's Hurricane for Mookstar here. And Alpal is already the Sever's Embrace and the Rylai's Crystal Scepter completed already, looking to build that Liandry's next. They're going to push in this top side.
Yeah, that's once that Liandry's is fully completed, that's going to be devastating. Like, it's bad enough when you already have to worry about that much burst damage, but just the extra damage on top of it, oh, that pick was disgusting.
And JD getting caught out once again, unfortunately. He gets absolutely melted. He does not look tanky at all here. Now with the Baron buff, with supers coming in, you worried about them holding off the supers? Well, now they've got Baroned up supers. Now I think they can't clear the waves.
Yeah, this is looking very reminiscent of the 7 men from game 1.
And it's looking absolutely massive. Onslaught of Shadows comes out. The last push here. They're looking for Muxtar. They're also fighting around the turret. Noise is going to go down. Alpal's manages to take him out. The Nexus turret goes down. That means no more safety here. And it's going to be Heal Slow going down as well. Drizzle trying to pump out damage on the steps of the fountain. Will it be enough? No, it will not. Instead, it's going to be JD Did. Pulled back out of the steps of the fountain. Just shy of 24 minutes. 7 men firing back here. Putting Lie to games 2 and 3.
All right, folks, it's make or break time. We're going to game 5. Now, the question is, are we going to see that fabled game 5 pentakill? I don't know. Like, both teams are playing well, but they're also splitting up their kills amongst everyone very well, just so not one person is getting fed. They're just trying to make it to where multiple carries are getting fed, which is very important.
I mean, they split it definitely around the top side. You see, it's 12-3 and 9 for top lane Sucks, 7-2 and 10 for Teeman, and 7-1 and 4 for Alpaz. They stacked their kills way up there, and it was spread out across the 3 of them. Unfortunately for Muxtar and the Ascendant, they were kind of left out to dry, but they did really well for themselves, 1-1 and 9. And I actually want to take a look at the damage to see how much got put out there. And yeah, you can see top lane Sucks hard carrying 7 men this game.
Yeah, like, that was just outstanding performance by him. And again, like, although the bot lane from 7 men, they didn't really do too much, at the same time, they didn't need to, because Ashe Maokai is more of a utility bot lane, and they just played extremely safe. They got initiations for their team when they could, and they helped set up for top lane Sucks and for Teeman to get those kills, and even get Alpaz those kills, being able to combo the Ashe ult and Maokai ult into the Petrifying Gaze from Alpaz.
Yeah, and I think like that was Muxtar on this Ashe has thrown out more Ashe arrows, I think, than per minute basically than most Ashes we've seen. And I think that's excellent. That's why we kept seeing catches happen here from the side of 7 men. You can see, despite the lack of damage, he's 1-1 and 9, so he participated in 10 of these kills that did manage to come out for now. And with that, we are going to head into an intermission break here while we get set up for that amazing Game 5 in this Best of 5 series, the game that will decide it all here between 7 men and Vengeful Reapers. Who moves on to the semifinals?